Hello, hello. Let's do this thing.
Well, how comfortable are you starting to feel with the playbook and all of that?
Very comfortable. I feel like the way that Shane and Dave started teaching me from the day I got here up until now. At first you feel a little overwhelmed, and there's a lot that's thrown on your plate. But over time, you learn something new about each play every day you're out here in practice, and it all starts tying together. And I feel really, really, really good about this offense. I feel like I could go out and play a game tomorrow and succeed, and that's a testament to the coaches in there and the guys around me, teach me up on little intricacies of plays that they've picked up over time with this offense. And it's just an overall group effort, and I really appreciate everyone that's gotten me this far in developing in this offense. What's up? No, how much was given to you that first day? Nothing like, not a certain play, not a certain run concept. It was just, let's go. Let's do this thing. Let's figure this all out. We're going out there day one. There's X amount of runs, X amount of passes. And, as a quarterback, you want to be perfect when you go out there. No signs of not knowing where this guy's supposed to be or what's this, what's that. So you got to pick it all up and be ready for that first day.
How long do you think it ultimately took looking back on it before you started to feel like it was bedded in and you had that sense of it?
I would say, at first we were just doing like a walkthrough and like routes on air and stuff. So there was some growth there. But, after our first week of really doing a quicker up-tempo walkthrough against the defense, I was done. I was ready and felt really, really confident about it, because you can only do so much in routes on air. And it's always better when you get a defense out in front of you and you can start seeing how guys move and how guys react to certain coverages. And I'd say after that first week, I was ready to roll.
What are the similarities between this offense and the one you ran as a rookie?
Yeah, there's definitely similarities. How we call it, their process of how they get the play into me, formations, run game calls, like similar verbiage. I have to go back and remember those. And when they installed it to me the first time, it clicked, because it was engraved in my head that first year. Certain pass concepts, I don't want to say too much, obviously, but there's a lot of verbiage, formations, motions, how we want to attack certain looks that have been described to me up in the quarterback room. It's a like philosophy in the minds of the guys I had the first year and these here.
What's different about this coaching staff and the way that they coach you from what you had in Denver?
There's definitely some differences. Dave is Dave and Shula was Shula. I mean, Shula started coaching and learned his ways of coaching from probably his dad a little bit, and Dave started when he started. I mean, there's definitely differences. I can't give you exact answers right now, but there is differences.
What is it about this offensive system that suits your playing ability?
First off, I think you got to have a great run game in this offense. That's what this offensive style of ball is made on. And when you have a great run game, the linebackers, everyone's ready for the run. And we have play action pass in this offense. The play action pass in this offense is my favorite part about it. And I think that's what I do really, really well, especially when you add Tyler and DK into the mix. It's an exciting thing to look at. It's an exciting thing to see on tape from film last year. And, I'm excited to hopefully make my own tape as well.
I'm assuming you saw the you and DK did post on Twitter and stop it on the Drew Lock slander.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I texted him. I kind of stay off Twitter and social media a little bit, but I texted him saying, I appreciate you having my back. What's up, guys? I let him know I appreciate it. And I also told him, don't feel like you have to give in to that too much, and you can let it ride. I've been there before. I've had the slander, but it's time to put it to bed.
You were in a quarterback competition last year as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can take away from that now as you're kind of in another one really similarly, I guess?
Yeah, that was really my first time ever having that happen last year. I tried to, compare the whole time. All right, did Teddy beat me that day, or did I win that day? And overall, if you start thinking like that, it's just not good for your mental. It's not good for your process of becoming a better quarterback. It's not about who won that day. It's about, did I get better today to make the guys around me better? Because if I'm playing at my best, the other 10 dudes around me are going to be playing really good football too. So just not comparing. Comparison is the thief of joy is what Barry Odom told me one day when I was in college, and that's kind of stuck with me. to this point.
How is it trying to manage competition off the field, like with your teammates, when you've got two quarterbacks trying to be leaders simultaneously and build guys up around them? That aspect of it in comparison, and how do you kind of manage that side of it?
Well, for one, I feel like, me and Gino are both, very mature adults. We both understand that we're both trying to be the starter for this team. We're not stepping on each other's shoes. We're not getting mad at one another. It's just, all right, he took it that day. I took it this day. I broke us down this time. He broke us down this time. Whatever it may be. They both need to hear us. They both need to feel us. They need to feel both of us. And that's kind of been our philosophy. It's been really nice. It's been really easy. I appreciate the way Gino's handled it. And, I hope he's appreciated the way that, I've handled it as well.
Just kind of developed a natural trust and throwing to Cody Thompson.
Yeah. Well, we actually got together a little bit before the season with a couple guys in Dallas. So I had actually thrown to him before getting here, which was nice. Man, he plays the ball really well. Has a knack for the ball when it's in the air. Definitive routes. When he's shutting it down. Does a really good job of getting in and out of cuts. I think he deserves a little more respect than he might get. I'll say that.
Well, you talked about the play action in the Seahawks offense. Early days, what did you kind of see from the running backs unit?
Yeah. First off, it's deep. It's really deep from what I've noticed. Travis is a spark plug in that. Penny, seeing all the clips of him when we're talking run game, is just really impressive. And overall, the depth in that room is what's most impressive to me. I feel like one guy takes 2 snaps, you can bring in 3 more guys that are going to uphold the standard that running back room has, regardless if they're first string, second string, third string, or fourth. That's what's really cool about that room. They're always going to be able to pack a punch when it gets to the fourth quarter because they got so many guys.
You mentioned you sometimes alternate who brings the team down. They need to hear from both of you. We see you as the two, so far has been the one. How much more sharing of that has gone on?
As far as what, I guess?
Well, to the outside, it looks like the competition so far because Smith is familiar. He's the one. You're learning. You're the two. You just mentioned that, sometimes I break the team down, sometimes he breaks the team down.
Yeah.
How much do you feel like you're getting a co-share that maybe isn't as apparent on the field?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into quarterback competition. Anytime I take a rep with Tyler in routes on air, that might as well be a 1 rep in my mind. I mean, that's who Tyler's going to be with the whole time. Anytime I throw to Will Dissly, anytime I hand the ball off to Shot Penny or Travis Homer, there's just a lot that goes into it. It's also a lot that I don't want to get bogged down on thinking about. It's just out of my control. I'm going to do what's right on my reps. I'm going to show that I can play good football, and that's that.
Drew, when the trade happened, Pete and John
Well, kind of mentioned the idea of a fresh start maybe being good for you, for players kind of had the ups and downs you had. I don't know if it's only June, but have you kind of sensed that this change of scenery has been nice for you so far?
Absolutely. From fresh faces in the quarterback room, the offensive coordinator, from who's my center, just meeting new people, whether that's the training room or the equipment staff. It was just needed. It was time. And look at the weather here. I've been told it's a bad spring so far, and it doesn't really seem like that, but that's what everyone and their dog tells me every week. Don't worry, the weather's going to get better. I'm like, this is pretty nice. So just from an all-around perspective, it was much needed, and it feels really, really good to be here.
When were you guys going to Dallas?
It was probably, I won't tell you the wrong dates. It was like 2 weeks before we reported.
So, 2 weeks before.
Yeah, so let me tell you this. It was actually while my house was being packed up in Denver. I left my lady there to pack, and I'm like, hey, look, I gotta go do this. So my mom and sister actually came out to help her pack the house, and then I flew from Texas up to here to officially move into my place here. Yeah, she understands.
How much did you have to do to make up for that?
I guess, I got her a ring in February, so that's a good one right there, I guess, to make up for it.
Is Cody the only receiver from this team on there?
No, there was a lot of other guys there, and we'll leave who it was out of it just in case someone wasn't there. But Cody was there, and I mentioned that because you asked about him.
Gino mentioned you're around the facilities wrapping GG and other things. What else?
Yeah. We had Drake playing today, and I can wrap Drake pretty much all day. We're doing the free throw contest in the team room. me and Gino have actually been shooting for the quarterbacks, and championship round tomorrow against the D-line, believe it or not. Very interesting. We have yet to be beat, knock on wood. Don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, but me and Gino just got to come out hot like Jason Tatum.
What did you?
Today was, I think it was Puna, and gosh, I can't remember who the other person was because I sit front row and I can't turn around because the basket's right there. I have to literally stare at the basket the whole time or I'm getting hit in the head. But I'm pretty sure Puna always shoots for the D-line. I can't remember who the second one shoots for the D-line. There really wasn't much concern for the quarterbacks, so I don't really pay attention.
Your experience with Noah, he said this is a tight end friendly offense, and you've seen that with like the way George Kittle's played in San Francisco, Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett, and so forth. What do you think about his skill set fits well into this scheme and this approach, and what do you think it can mean for him?
Yeah, I think what's cool for Noah is in this offense is I think you're going to get to see a little bit more of just his feel for football in general, his savviness, his whereabouts of bodies around him, how he feels defenses, because, you know, there's choice routes, there's seams that you're changing your route on depending on rotation, wide safeties. There's just a lot that tight end room, one, needs to know, but two, can make him a lot, more versatile in the passing game. And I think Noah is excited to be able to do that. I think we could have maybe pressed the field with him a little bit more in Denver. But he's going to have the opportunity to do that here, and I know he's pumped about it.
Obviously, you've played with Noah the last couple of years, but how does this tight end room as a whole stack up to the groups you've played with? Because you have a touchdown today to Mabry out there.
Yeah.
Looks like you just got pretty good chemistry with that group.
I think I've had some pretty awesome tight end rooms in my lifetime of football, but this room is special. I'd say one of the first good friends I made that weren't in Dallas was Will Dissly. I feel like he's a crowd favorite around here. Super smart, super intelligent. I mean, we joke around. He's not a burner. I mean, he's not hauling down the field, but he's super savvy. Gonna make the catch when it's coming at him. And you talk about Noah, and I think the person that really impressed me was Colby. Talk about a red zone threat, being the height that he is. I'm surprised he didn't play basketball 4 years at Stanford. Just freak athlete from what I've seen, and I'm really impressed with him. And also Tyler, like you mentioned today, on that end, super physical tight end, and it's a pretty good room. It's a pretty good room. I'm excited about those guys.
You told us about your mentality of not comparing each day to how you did versus how Gino did. If you're not doing that, how do you measure yourself and your progress in the competition?
Decision, timing, accuracy. That's the quarterback room standard. All right, did I make the right decision? Is that where the ball was supposed to go? Yes. Was I on time? Was it within my drop? And then was I accurate? So biggest thing for me right now is changing footwork from what I did last year to this year, just working on the timing of my feet. And if the more and more I get better with the timing of my feet, the more accurate the ball comes. The decision making is there right now. It's just about timing my feet up with these new route concepts and delivering an accurate football. And if I feel like I can check all three of those marks at the end of these passes, then I was doing my job. And I got to keep making sure that's if I throw 20 balls, I got 20 triple check marks on each of those plays. That's really my checklist we talk about in the quarterback room every single day.
Have you been told by Pete or anyone else kind of what this quarterback competition would come down to, and what do you think it would come down to?
Haven't gotten into much specifics. There's a lot of football still to be played. The fun part of football still to be played, where it's 11 on 11, we're putting pads on. I feel like I get to do some of the things that make me the quarterback that I am, and that's being able to run around, make plays, hang out in the pocket, maneuver in the pocket. But ultimately, from what I've seen in my time in the NFL, one, showing that you can take care of the football, and two, showing that you can just make accurate throws. We got to get these guys the ball. We have too many crazy athletes out on this field for me not to put it where they can catch it and not let the other team get it. So accuracy and taking care of the ball.
What is sort of the key for you in improving the taking care of the ball part?
Don't throw picks. Yeah. Checking it down when it's not there, not forcing anything. There's the aspect of being a gunslinger where you want to push the ball downfield and you want to make the big plays, but there's a major part of playing really, really good NFL quarterback is knowing that the other side of the ball is pretty good too. They're getting paid a lot of money to stop you, and when they do, check it down.
In retrospect, is there something that you could attribute to turnovers? You were still learning offensive speed in the NFL. Was there
I feel like the speed, speed is pretty fast in the SEC when you're playing, Alabama and LSU and all those guys. I mean, I played Jamal in college, saw that speed. For me, I think was maybe more of just the athleticism part. I'm just as athletic today as I was when I was in college, but the defensive end isn't always Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. It's a guy that I don't remember the name of, and maybe a 4th or 5th round pick that you can run around, dance around. You're throwing at a corner that is on his couch after his senior year, and not a 2nd or 1st round pick at corner. There's just a lot that you have to adjust to. And being the guy that I was in college, I ran around, tried to make every single play I could. And like I said, they're getting paid a lot of money to play good football on that side of the ball too, and it's just called being smart with the ball.
That said, what have you thought of the secondary for a few weeks you've gone against?
Nice, yeah. Well, it was cool to see Jamal and Diggs out here trying to pick up some of their tendencies in this. I know it's just walkthrough type mentality, but it's fun to see those guys out there. They're going to be really good players from what I've seen, but the rookies have been very impressive. Kobe has made a couple plays on a couple of my passes. I'm impressed with those young guys. And Ugo, I trained with Ugo when I was in California coming out for the draft. We watched film this week together, and I can accredit that pick today to us watching film. Yeah, we were talking about that. If you're going to play outside leverage on that, you better be careful if you flip your hips, because if you flip your hips, we're going to throw it to the sideline. And sure enough, I told him after today, I'm like, dude, no more watching film together. Like, we're done with that. Keep that is for the birds, and we are not doing that anymore.
What's it like seeing a guy Tariq Woolen's size run like that?
Yeah, definitely scary to look out there and see it. When you get press and you're running quick game stuff, he can reach a full body length through and bat down any ball he needs to. But also, when you're dropping back, you take your 3-step, you're holding the safety, you hitch, and you go to look. And if he's on top of that guy, it's like, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to really drop it down in on this guy with a wingspan bigger than mine, and with a radius of being able to flip your hips and defend a back shoulder ball. I think if he can develop and keep developing as a corner, he can be really special.
Anything else?
All right.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.